This video is for the new correctional officers. Just know this: inmates will test you. Let me say that again. Inmates will test you. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably saying, like, oh, are they going to try to grab me? Are they going to try to fight me? This or that. It may happen. But what I'm saying is they will test you mentally. The mental part of it is something that a lot of people overlook. When they think of corrections, they always think physical. But physical is not as important to the mental, in my opinion. Okay? Because it very seldom happens that an officer gets attacked. Now, if you doing something, you're disrespectful, you into something that make them want to do something to you, yeah, it can happen. But the mental side of things is the most important, and that's what inmates test the most. So you have to stay fair, firm, and consistent, because if you don't, that's one way they will test you. And you have to understand that the inmates don't forget anything. You tell them something one day, and I promise you, they will ask you later on down the line just to see that your answer changed. That's one of the tests, man. They hold on to every single thing. Okay, they know the policy, they know what they can and can't do. So if they asking you something, you better believe they already know the answer. And especially if you are a new correctional officer, the new correctional officers are the ones that they test the most. They are trying to see how far they can go before you stop it. And you have to stop it early, because if you don't, they will keep going, right? A prime example, they will ask you something simple trying to get personal information from you. They can ask you about sports. They can be like, oh, what's your favorite NFL team? And you tell them your favorite NFL team. Now, that's one thing that they have to talk about. And don't mess around and say, well, you don't even have to tell them your favorite team. I mean, they don't have to tell you their favorite team. You can tell them your favorite team, and they're so smart that they can say, like you say, your team is the Cowboys. If I be like, oh man, my team the Cowboys, this inmate might say, my team the Cowboys too. Now, that inmate is trying to have something in common with you. So every time he see you, especially if it's football season, every time he see you, guess what? He will talk about the Cowboys. Now, that inmate has a reason, where he think he has a reason to talk to you every day, especially if it's football season. So don't fall for the small bait. Don't fall for it, because they small talk with you just to pick your brain, just to see how far they can go, just to see if you know your policy and procedures. I had that happen to me before, because they will watch you. Okay, they will watch you when you don't think they watching you. If that person you see in front of you is not watching you, you better believe somebody on the other side of the unit is watching you. And they play these mind games every single day. But you have to get it under control when it first happened. Okay? The first time that inmate come to you, you stay fair, firm, and consistent. Yes, if he's supposed to get something, you give it to him. Give the inmate what they got coming. But all that small talk and all that stuff, man, keep it to a minimum. Okay? Don't tell them anything personal, because they will try to get some personal information out of you. But you have to let it be known that, hey, this officer is not like that, man. You're going to have to try somebody else. Okay? And they pay attention to everything: body language, facial expressions, your hair, women, your hair, your clothes. They pay attention to everything. So don't think for 1 second that they're not watching you like a hawk. Okay? They're listening to you. They're taking mental notes so they can come and try to get something out of you later on. So you have to be mindful of the mental manipulation, because the physical stuff, yes, that's what all people think about when they hear about a prison, but it's more so with their mind. They think more than anybody. They have more time to sit down and think and come up with a plan to trap an officer or come up with a plan to do whatever it is that they're trying to do. So don't fall for it, okay? Because I have worked with a lot of friendly people. And when I say friendly, I do mean friendly, just laughing and giggling and all that stuff. I'm not saying be a butthole, but what I'm saying is you have to be mindful of the next question, because they may ask you one thing, they just trying to lead up to what they really want to ask you. They will create this small talk, and then they will keep going and going and going, and then you have to just nip it in the bud, okay? And once you do that with one inmate, the word is going to spread. It's going to spread. You know what I'm saying? And my experience, officer, y'all already know what I'm talking about, but this is for the new correctional officers that are going into corrections and trying to find their way. Be firm, fair, and consistent at all times, because the inmates are looking for a reason to try and manipulate you. You better believe that. And they know if you knew, because a lot of people have new written on their head. You just look like you knew. You talk like you knew. You walk like you knew. It's simple. They're going to figure that stuff out. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to tell them that you just started. They know you just started. They know you just got out of the academy. They know you don't know your policies in full yet. They know. Okay? So you are a target when you go in there. Not a target for anything physical. I'm not saying that. But a target for manipulation. And you always have to keep that in mind when an inmate approaches you, when an inmate asks you a question, when an inmate see you walking and they ask you something just to test you to see if you know what you are talking about. So some people talk too much. Some people don't talk enough. You know, you got to kind of find your way when it comes to dealing with an inmate. You have some inmates that have been locked down for a long time. They know the policy front to back. They know what they can and can't do when it comes to certain situations. If they ask you something, they already know the answer. They trying to test you to